Srimad Bhagavatam, translated with commentaries by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Text 3. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the purusa, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence, par excellence. Purport. The conception of the Virata Rupa, or Vishvarupa, of the Supreme Absolute Truth is especially meant for the neophyte who can hardly think of the transcendental form of the personality of Godhead. To him, a form means something of this material world, and therefore an opposite conception of the Absolute is necessary in the beginning to concentrate the mind on the power extension of the Lord. As stated above, the Lord extends His potency in the form of the Mahatattva, which includes all material ingredients. The extension of power by the Lord and the Lord Himself personally are one in one sense, but at the same time, the Mahatattva is different from the Lord. Therefore, the potency of the Lord and the Lord are simultaneously different and non-different. The conception of the Virata Rupa, especially for the impersonalist, is thus non-different from the eternal form of the Lord. The eternal form of the Lord exists prior to the creation of the Mahatattva, and it is stressed here that the eternal form of the Lord is par excellence spiritual, or transcendental to the modes of material nature. The very same transcendental form of the Lord is manifested by His internal potency, and the formation of His multifarious manifestations of incarnations is always of the same transcendental quality, without any touch of the Mahatattva. Text 4. The devotees, with their perfect eyes, see the transcendental form of the Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and earrings, and are adorned with garlands. Purport. With our present materialized senses, we cannot perceive anything of the transcendental Lord. Our present senses are to be rectified by the process of devotional service, and then the Lord becomes Himself revealed to us. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and devotional service only can reveal Him. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said that the Lord is always visible to the devotees whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of devotional service. So, we have to take information of the transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen Him with perfect eyes, smeared with devotional service. In the material world also, we do not always see things with our own eyes, but through the experience of those who have actually seen or done something. If that is the process for experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in matters transcendental. So with patience and perseverance only, we can realize the transcendental subject matter regarding the Absolute Truth and his different forms. He is formless to the neophytes, but he is in transcendental form to the expert servitor. Text 5. This form, the second manifestation of purusa, is the source of indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. And from the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. The purusa, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahatattva, enters into each of them as the second purusa, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there is all darkness and space only, without a resting place, he filled up half of the universe with water out of his own perspiration and laid down on the same water. This water is called Garbhodak. Then from his navel the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the flower petals the birth of Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma is generated from Rajagun of Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature, and Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu, being transcendental to all the modes, is always aloof from the materialistic affection. This is already explained before. And from Brahma there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of the modes of ignorance or darkness. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnations of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From Brahma, the other demigods like Daksha, Marichyadi, Manu, and many others become incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. This Garbhodakshai Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas, in the hymns of the Garbha Stuti, which begins with the description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. The Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the Lord of the universe, and although he appears to be lying within the universe, he is always transcendental. This is also already explained. Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, is the supersoul of the universal life, and he is known as the maintainer of the universe, or Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from this Kshirodakshai Vishnu. In different millennia, there are different incarnations, and they are innumerable, although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, and many others. These incarnations are called Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations, such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or Rudra, who take charge of the different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is non-different from the personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and the living entities or jivas. Brahma is always a jiva tattva. The highest pious living being, or the greatest devotee of the Lord, is empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation, and he is called Brahma. His power is like the power of the sun, reflected in valuable stones and jewels. When there is no such living being to take charge of the post of Brahma, the Lord himself becomes a Brahma, takes charge of the post. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is the plenary portion of the Lord, but because Lord Shiva is in direct touch with material nature, he is not exactly in the same transcendental position as Lord Vishnu. The difference is like that between milk and curd. Curd is nothing but milk, and yet it cannot be used in place of milk. The next incarnations are the Manus. Within 1 day's duration of the life of Brahma, which is calculated by our solar year as 4,300,000 times 1,000 years, there are 14 Manus. Therefore, there are 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma, and 5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years of his age, and therefore there are 5,040 times 100, or 504,000 Manus in the duration of Brahma's life. There are innumerable universes with one Brahma in each of them, and all of them are created and annihilated during the breathing time of the purusa. Therefore, one can simply imagine how many millions of Manus there are during one breath of the purusa. The Manus who are prominent within this universe are as follows: Yagna as Swayambhuva Manu, Vibhu as Swarochisa Manu, Satyasen as Uttama Manu, Hari as Tamasa Manu, Vaikunta as Raivata Manu, Ajita as Chakshusha Manu, Vamana as Vaivasvata Manu. The present age is under the Vaivasvata Manu. Sarvabhauma as Sarvani Manu, Rishabha as Daksha Sarvani Manu, Vishvakshen as Brahma Sarvani Manu, Dharmashetu as Dharma Sarvani Manu, Sudama as Rudras Sarvani Manu, Yogeshwar as Deva Sarvani Manu, and Brihadbhanu as Indra Sarvani Manu. These are the names of one set of 14 Manus covering 4,300,000 solar years as described above. Then there are the Yuga avatars, or the incarnations of the millennia. The Yugas are known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. The incarnations of each Yuga are of different color. The colors are white, red, black, and yellow. In the Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna in black color appeared, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in yellow color appeared. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation, for he must be mentioned in the Shastras. An incarnation does not declare himself to be an incarnation of the Lord, but great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The features of the incarnation and the particular type of mission which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Apart from the direct incarnations, there are innumerable empowered incarnations. They are also mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. When they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations. When they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Directly empowered incarnations are the Kumaras, Narada, Prithu, Sesha, Ananta, etc. As far as vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And for all these different types of incarnations, the fountainhead is the Garbhodakshai, Vishnu.